Hello, everybody. You might be wondering why I have this flag and what this means. And I'm going to tell you because it's involved in my journey to learning to love myself, my whole self. So put that down. So many years ago, I became inactive in the church. I had stepped away out of anger and frustration of things that were happening because I was struggling knowing who I was at that time. I didn't know who I was. I felt like I was the daughter of God, but I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't until maybe a few months into 2011 that I realized I was not straight. Is the simplest way to put it. I found out that I was a part of the LGBTQ community and didn't know how to handle being a part of that and being a member of the church, so I stepped away and I lived my life and just let things happen. And then a few years ago, my parents had the wonderful opportunity to help my aunt be still to her parents. My family background's a little bit complicated, so this is just making it as easy as possible. But they were at the Ochre Temple doing ceilings, and I had been in the waiting room because we had planned to go to Hailstoner Theater, which is a theater out here in Utah where they have plays. And I was like, I don't mind waiting in the room. It was fine. It was only supposed to be an hour, but it turned out to be 2 hours of me waiting in there. And I had felt peace I hadn't felt in 8, 9 years. And I kind of struggled with that. I didn't know what to do with it. And I got into the car with my parents and said I wanted to come back to church. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I was working at a company that would not allow me to work Saturdays and have Sundays off. So I prayed about it and things worked out and I was able to change my shift to my job, which is a feat in itself because that job was not easy to work with. And I started going back to church, but was still wrestling with knowing who I was. That, yes, I was an active member of the church and I was going to church and everything, but I hid the other part of me, the part of me that was part of the LGBT community, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And I wrestled and I kind of fought my inner demons every day and every night, trying to figure out what to do. And I went to Pride for the first time and was watching the parade and broke down crying at a point of just realizing that I got the confirmation I needed that I was loved by Heavenly Father for all of me. For the girl that went to church, the girl that paid her tithing, that went through the temple, and for the girl who identified as pansexual and part of the LGBT community. And I grabbed this flag and held onto it and cried, realizing that just because I identified that way didn't change my divine nature of who I was. Despite identifying and being part of the community, I am still a divine daughter of God and I am still loved.